like dozens of people have met these same people that I'm thinking of, and everybody's in agreement. People that have met them that didn't even know me, but met me later were in agreement. Like there's some personality flaws there where the only way that that's ever going to work is that it's going to have to be somebody that has most of the same personality flaws. And in that situation, the fact of the matter is, whoever they end up with is most definitely better for them. Would I consider them better than me? It really comes down to what you consider a quality individual as being. If the type of people you roll with are trash, and that's what you consider the, good people or the type of people you want to be around, then they, at least in their eyes, probably are better than me. But to me, absolutely not. It's not something I worry about.
I think it really comes down to your level of self-esteem
Yeah.
when you with your outlook. Because if your ex is with somebody who you think is better than you, then you don't have a high opinion of yourself. Because people are happy with people for various reasons.
Yeah.
Whether it's ambition or anything tangible such as salary and house and that kind of shit, or if it's just someone who makes them feel good about themselves, someone who makes them laugh. There's gonna be various reasons, and it all comes down to what the person wants in their life. So if you're one of those people that are comparing yourself based on physical things, then you're probably gonna find somebody who you feel inferior, when compared against.
Yeah.
Or if you feel that somebody's trash compared to you, you may not be giving yourself a realistic view of who you are with that person. You may not have been that supportive person. You may not have been the one that was able to make her happy in the way that she needed to be happy.
Right.
But that person, who you think is trash, is the one that she's smiling with, the one that she's comfortable with, confiding in and telling deep secrets to.
And that's how a lot of situations play out, man.
Yeah,
but
it does.
That's why I think, like every time I think of that, even when I hear people talk about that, the first thing I always think is, why are you even checking for your ex? Like if it's your ex, it's your ex for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't really a valid reason for you to be concerned too much with what they're doing. And then the next thing is always, what is your self-esteem level? Or more so, what insecurities do you have that lead you to feel the need to compare yourself? Because what it is reassuring you of what you already believe about yourself. That's really what you're trying to do. So you're trying to convince yourself that they are worse off than you are.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, like, when I look at stuff like that, and that's why I say, like, knowing the difference between better than and better for is enormous in any situation. Because anytime I hear some people say, that's their loss, or you're never gonna find somebody else like me. Well, that's kind of the fucking point.
Yes.
we didn't work. I don't want to find somebody else like you.
I fucking hope so. That's what.
Exactly.
That's the point.
And this is not my loss no more than it's your loss. Like, I'm not losing anything. I learned that you're not for me. You're technically not losing anything, because now you can go off and find whoever you meant to be with. So technically nobody's actually lost. That is something that you're telling yourself to make yourself feel better about the situation.
Or worse.
Yeah.
Humans humans don't deal well with turning a page.
They do.
And I think that's what a lot of breakups are about, and moving on. And I think that's a lot about why so many people like to spend time bashing their exes. For me, like, exes might as well not. They don't exist to me anymore.
Yep.
And I think that's when you get to a point where, it doesn't matter. Like, all an ex was training or preparation for the relationship that you're meant to be in, the one that's going to give you the things that you're looking for.
Yeah.
For better or for worse. And whether they end on bad terms or they don't, it doesn't really matter. There should be lessons learned from all of them.
And it really speaks to, like why you was with somebody and the person you was dealing with. And it's always like, I always personally know when I've been dealing with somebody of the same caliber and we simply didn't mesh well, or I was dealing with somebody that was absolutely positively in no way, form, or fashion for me. And I say that from the perspective of, I have exes that I'm super cool with. Like, I'm actually fine with. I can have a conversation with. Like, nothing ever happened. We decided at one point, we weren't meant to be together. That probably, it probably wasn't great when we made that decision, but at the end of the day, we both realized, all right, as adults, that's a practical decision. It makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I think a lot of that has to do with, too, like, those were all like-minded people, not in the aspect that we thought alike, but I'll say from a realist standpoint, as in, 8-9 billion some odd people on this earth. I guarantee you there's somebody that looks better than you, fucks better than you, got a bigger dick than you, got better pussy than you, make more money than you, smarter than you. Like, there's always gonna be somebody better than you, right? So the point is to be the best overall package for a specific individual or whoever you end up with, to be the type of person for your type of person. You're not everybody's type of person. That's just all there is to it. You're not going to fit everybody. So, if being you isn't enough, then that person clearly is not for you. So why are you sitting out there trying to please this person or tailor yourself to what they need? Actually, it's better just to flawlessly be you, and whether, you all end up hating each other or liking each other, at the end of the day, yeah, somebody's going to find somebody that's better than you in some way. And if they're not better than you in some way, they're going to be better for that specific person in some way. But at the end of the day, why do you care? I mean, really, why do you? If you care about that individual, okay, then in that case, you should be happy that they found somebody that's good for them. And if you shouldn't care, then why do you like why would it even bother you? Like, why would you care if somebody's better than you or not? Like, another main thing people forget is, if your ex is coming to you after they found somebody to let you know that they found somebody better than you, that relationship is already about to fail, because they still holding on to something that they feel the need to prove to you that they can find somebody better, or that they've overcome something, or that they needed to be in your face for you to feel some type of way. But at the end of the day, why? Like, on either end, why? What are you gaining or what are you losing by doing that? It's all pointless, and it all speaks to self-confidence and insecurities and what people have to do to make themselves feel, seem, or look better overall or better off overall. And it's all really just a waste of time. You could be getting along with life. And as I always tell people, man, happy people, because happy people ain't coming around you to tell you that they happy. They too busy being fucking happy. They ain't thinking about you at all. Like, if I'm having a ball and I'm good to go, like, I'm not about to be like, oh man, I'm having a great time. This is great. So glad I found you. Let me make sure I go tell my ex about this. The fuck? Ain't nobody got time for that shit. I don't understand that, man. I don't get that at all.
Me neither. I think the best way to be, at least in my opinion, is to work on yourself, focus on the things that make you happy. And then when you know what makes you happy, you end up gravitating more towards people with those that embody those qualities that you're looking for.
Yeah.
And it becomes more like a subconscious thing. Like, you can't be that person whose whole goal is to find someone to complete them, because there's a level of, like, almost like defeatist mentality. You're like, I'm already an incomplete person.
Yeah.
Like, we know that we're flawed. We know that
there
are characteristics that we need in a partner who kind of round us out.
I hate when people say stuff like that. I really like when people say, like, oh, somebody completes them. Like, I understand the sentiment and why people say that, but
Yeah, it's a sweet sentiment.
yeah, but the fact of the matter is, you were a complete person already.
Yes.
And if you were not, and you feel like a person completes you, you have put entirely too much stock and power into an individual, and that's what leads people to go crazy when they lose somebody. When they're at a point where, like, you know what, I can't survive without this person. Because that's just like people that say, well, you know, I'm trying to find myself. No, nobody's in the business actually of finding themselves. People are in the business of creating themselves. When people are going out trying to figure out what they want or who they're supposed to be, what they're actually doing is finding out what they don't like, what they don't want to do, and what they're passionate about. Like you're not finding yourself. That already exists in you.
Right. Like, what the fuck does that mean?
Yeah, exactly. You're really trying to refine it, and especially people that have like a growth mindset, like that, they never stop stretching themselves in the first place. Like, even if you found something that you're entirely passionate about, that don't mean you won't find something else that you're passionate about. And it works the same way with individuals. Just because you're in love with somebody and you could see yourself marrying them, don't mean that that's going to work out. And it doesn't mean that if it doesn't work out, you can't find that in somebody else. When you say somebody completes you or you hang on to stuff like that, like you've automatically limited yourself. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. I'm in no way saying that, all right, you find a person that you feel completes you and then you just keep looking for other people. I'm saying that you are a whole individual. You should be secure in yourself. You shouldn't actually go to somebody broken. People always say, you know, they're broken and they look for somebody to fix them. No, you should never let anybody else fix you. You fix you and you go in whole. And you shouldn't necessarily need somebody as much as desire somebody. And when you start depending on people to complete you or fix you or right the wrongs that somebody else did to you, like, you're walking into a very, very bad situation, because that person is liable to, one, try to fix you in the way that they want you to be, and two, break you again in the process. So you got to be very careful doing stuff like that. And most definitely in X situations, like, I feel like a lot of people go right out and start trying to either replace an X or find something that's better or do some. No, man, slow the fuck down, man. Slow the fuck down, man. Like for what? Like, that should have come to you. If it's gonna come, it's gonna come to you, man. And me personally, like, and I say this, like, even from, like, looking at the situation with, like, my son's mother, because, like, we was cool before we started talking. We was cool after. We weren't even together when my son was made. We were still super cool. We were still fucking. I mean, just to be blunt about it. I mean, we were still super cool. I mean, I like the person she is and the person she was then. But we also understood, you know, as a couple, that wasn't meant to be. But if you really, like, have a solid foundation with somebody and you really feel a certain type of way about somebody, you're not going to wake up one day and be like, all right, well, you know what? This didn't work out. I now hate your guts. So go drop off the planet. No. Then how did you really feel about them in the first place? And, like, even when she's been with people and they've been around my son, like, I've never been comparative of myself and them. Granted, once again, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm shit, but but at the same time, that's just not what we do, especially because we have a child. So we both always been like, what's best for our son? And if they good for him, we ain't got no trouble. If they, in any way, form, or fashion, aren't necessarily good for him, which we really haven't been in that situation, like, then we would have a problem. But that's not a problem we even count. So it's like one of those things where I'm like, man, why wouldn't I want her to be happy? Like what type of person would you be where I wouldn't want her to be happy?
You'd be Future.
Yeah, exactly. I'm being Future. Me personally, I want every last ex of mine to find somebody either better than me or better for them than me. Because, one, that means most of them will stop fucking with me. And I don't mean like, no, they be calling me or they be disturbing me like that. But everybody know how, like, every 3, 6, you know, certain time of year, however many months, you'll get and it's never from like the same ex. So, you know, you might get like that pop up message